Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. So today is the other Wednesday, which makes it Hidden Figures Day. And today's hidden figure is Elaine Brown, who was the only woman to lead the Black Panther Party. She was a political activist, she was a politician, she ran for office several times, she's an author, she's a singer, she's all these amazing things, and many people have not heard of Elaine Brown. I personally had not heard of Elaine Brown until I saw online that they're getting ready to make a movie about her. So I'm going to read you guys a little blurb from the article that I saw floating around about how they're getting ready to make a movie about her. And of course, there will be all types of really interesting links in the description box. But this was an exclusive through Deadline.com, which is like a movie entertainment website. The firm has acquired the rights to Elaine Brown's 1992 memoir, A Taste of Power, a Black woman's story about the first and only woman to lead the Black Panther Party. Brown led the party from 1974 to 1977, while co-founder Huey Newton was in exile in Cuba. Newton founded the party with Bobby Seale in 1966, and Brown joined as a member just 2 years later. The firm is currently in negotiations with a writer to adapt Brown's book, which will then be produced by Robbie Brenner, who did Dallas Buyers Club, which won all those Academy Awards, with the firm's Jeff Quantonet and Kevin McKeon. Brown, who is still very engaged in community and activism, would later run for different political offices. She even ran as a Green Party candidate. She ran for president as a Green Party candidate in 2008. So I saw this. I was like, a Black woman named Elaine Brown ran the Black Panther Party. I haven't heard this. Where the fuck have I been? Hidden figures. So today's hidden figure is going to be Elaine Brown. Elaine Brown grew up in the ghetto of North Philadelphia, the child of a single working mother. And despite desperate poverty, Brown's mother worked to provide for Elaine's private schooling, music lessons, and clothing. She studied classical, piano, and ballet for many years in her youth at a predominantly white experimental elementary school. And after graduating from Philadelphia High School for Girls, a public prep school for gifted young women, she studied at Temple University for less than a semester before withdrawing and moving to Los Angeles, California to become a songwriter because she had this musical background of being trained in piano and ballet and all this stuff. While there, she became involved with the Black Liberation Movement, BLM, working for a radical newspaper and becoming the first representative of the Black Student Alliance to the Black Congress in California. In April 1968, after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., she attended her first meeting of the Los Angeles chapter of the Black Panther Party. In 1968, Brown joined the Black Panther Party as a rank-and-file member, studying revolutionary literature, selling Black Panther Party newspapers, and cleaning guns, among other tasks. She soon helped the party set up its first free breakfast for children program in Los Angeles, as well as the party's initial free busing to prisons program and free legal aid program. In 1968, Brown was commissioned by David Hilliard, the party chief of staff, to record her songs, a request resulting in the recording of her 1969 album, Seize the Time. She eventually assumed the role of editor of the Black Panther publication and the Southern California branch of the party, and in 1971, Brown became a member of the party's Central Committee as Minister of Information, replacing Eldridge Cleaver. In 1973, Brown was commissioned to record more songs by National Party founder and Minister of Defense Huey P. Newton. These songs resulted in the 1973 album Until We're Free. When Newton fled to Cuba in 1974 in the face of murder charges, he appointed Elaine Brown to lead the party. The only woman to do so, Brown chaired the Black Panther Party from 1974 until 1977. So for 3 years, she led the Black Panther Party. How is this not, more well-known? In her 1992 memoir, A Taste of Power, she wrote about the experience. I'm going to start over because I'm going to get this quote right. A woman in the Black Power movement was considered at best irrelevant. A woman asserting herself was a pariah. If a Black woman assumed a role of leadership, she was said to be eroding Black manhood, to be hindering the progress of the Black race. She was an enemy of the Black people. I knew I had to muster something mighty to manage the Black Panther Party. 2017, and do some of those words sound familiar to some of y'all? During Brown's leadership of the Black Panther Party, she focused on electoral politics and community service. In 1977, she managed Lionel Wilson's victorious campaign to become Oakland's first black mayor, and Brown also developed the Panthers Liberation School, which was recognized by the state of California as a model school. Brown stepped down from chairing the Black Panther Party less than a year after Newton's return from Cuba in 1977, when Newton authorized the beating of Regina Davis, an administrator of the Panther Liberation School, because she reprimanded a coworker when he did not do an assignment. This incident was the point at which Brown could no longer tolerate the sexism and patriarchy of the Black Panther Party. She left Oakland with her daughter Erica and moved to Los Angeles. After leaving the party, Brown worked on her memoir, A Taste of Power, and she eventually returned to the struggle for Black liberation, especially espousing the need for radical prison reform. From 1980 to 1983, she attended Southwestern University School of Law in Los Angeles, and from 1990 to 1996, she lived in France. In 1996, Brown moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and founded Fields of Flowers, Inc., a nonprofit organization committed to providing educational opportunities for impoverished African American children. In 1998, she co-founded the grassroots group Mothers Advocating Juvenile Justice to advocate for children being prosecuted as adults in the state of Georgia. Around the same time, she continued her advocacy for incarcerated youth by founding and leading the Michael Lewis Legal Defense Committee. Michael Lewis, also known as Little B, was sentenced to life in prison at the age of 14, and Brown would eventually write a nonfiction novel, The Condemnation of Little B, that analyzes the prosecution of Lewis as part of the greater problem of the increased imprisonment of Black youth. In 2003, Brown co-founded the National Alliance for Radical Prison Reform, which helps thousands of prisoners find housing after they are released on parole, facilitates transportation for family visits to prisons, helps prisoners find employment, and raises money for prisoner phone calls and gifts. Brown has continued her prison reform advocacy by lecturing frequently at colleges and universities in the U.S., and from 1995 to the present, she has lectured at more than 40 colleges and universities as well as at numerous conferences. In March 2007, Brown announced her bid to be the 2008 Green Party presidential nominee. Brown felt that a campaign was necessary to promote the interests of those not represented by the major political parties. She was 10 years ahead of the curve, especially the interests of women under 30 and African Americans. Her platform focused on the needs of working class families, promoting living wages for all, free health care, more funding for public education, more affordable housing, removal of troops from Iraq, improving the environment, and promoting equality. Can we please get this woman in the White House? Please, I beg of you. Brown intended on using her campaign to bring more minorities to the Green Party in the hope that it would better represent a revolutionary force for social justice. But in late 2007, she resigned from the Green Party as she found that it remained dominated by whites who had no intention of using the ballot to actualize real social progress and will aggressively repeal attempts to do so. Jill Stein. In 2010, inmates in more than 7 Georgia prisons used contraband cell phones to organize a nonviolent strike for better prison conditions. Brown became their closest advisor outside of prison walls. She helped distill the inmate complaints into a list of demands. She held a conference call to develop a strategy with various groups, and she continues to work with the incarcerated population to this day. Elaine Brown. Right? An amazing, amazing, amazing hidden figure. And I'm going to end with this quote, which is what Elaine Brown said when she took on the mantle of leading the Black Panther Party. She said, I'm just going to read you, Elaine Brown assumed her role as the first and only female leader of the Black Panther Party with these words: "I have all the guns and all the money. I can withstand challenge from without and from within. Am I right, comrade?" Elaine Brown, a hidden figure. Lots of really good links will be in the description box for this one, guys. Please make sure you check them out. This also makes me think of the movie Crown Heights, which I did see, which I will be doing a review video on. If you have seen the movie or haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend you watch it. It's an excellent movie, but I do have a review video coming, and while I was doing my research on Elaine Brown, I just kept going back to that movie, which is also about mass incarceration, especially of Black youth. So, food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Hope you're having a great week. Happy Wednesday. Peace.